time for Flashback. Tracks from the past. With your host, DJ Daemon.
Today is a special podcast where we talk about the new website and reminisce of our time with Edison 2025. I'm DJ Daemon, and with me I have Coreus on the line. Hello.
Hey there, DJ Daemon. How's it going?
I'm good. The weather in Stockholm has chilled down a bit since last time we met.
Yes, the last time we were together in Stockholm, it was a fantastic Swedish weather. Very nice, that is. And we were on a boat.
Indeed. We were there to cover the Edison 2025 demo party, which was on a boat this year.
And we also got a bit of time to check out the sights of the city, even though we did actually end up getting a bit lost.
Yeah, we were definitely not well acquainted with the renting of those electric scooters.
That was quite something. You can't even park where you like.
Yeah, we have to reconsider our transportational choices for the next time we are in the big city. Yeah, but 2025 has been an eventful year for Ericade. We've done a lot for the station and continued our tradition of covering demo parties live.
Today we'll talk about the new website for Ericade and, of course, our time and impressions at Edison 2025.
Yep. Before that, let's dive headfirst into some music with Buzzer and Outschool Run. Ericade Radio, like any online radio station, of course has a website. However, it's been a bit dated and lacking some sorely needed features. Coreus wouldn't have any of that and took matters into his own hands.
That's right. I've been looking at the old radio website for some time over the years and seen many features that I wish were there for the site. But mostly, I wish that it was easier for people to actually listen live or listen to the radio, and that the site was usable from any device.
Exactly. And I think that's a good thing, because the old site, it did work, I guess, but it wasn't very well thought out. I mean, it worked fairly for a normal PC, but for a mobile phone it didn't scale properly.
And it was based on WordPress, wasn't it, as well?
The first site was made on WordPress and it looked pretty okay, but the problem was that it couldn't be expanded because it didn't work with some web browsers. So I kind of tossed it out in 2021 and put in a new site. But that site was fairly okay. It was a decent site, but it wasn't. I'm not like a front-end developer. I'm more like back-end developer. So it looked okay, I guess, but it was kind of lacking in features. And then in 2024, you saw the whole thing and thought you could do something better.
Yes, I I've been working with other radio sites that I helped develop, and I had time and the ability to help out, I thought, at Ericade. So I contacted you in late last year regarding this. I mean, we talked a bit on and off, back and forth, but the actual process or the actual agreement on that we should do something started at the end of last year.
Yes, absolutely. And I remember it was a good thing. And I saw the first layout you made and it was white. And I said, can't I have it in black? And then you changed it to black and it actually looked better that way. I don't know. I like black sites.
It's, I mean, dark theme is, people almost expect it to have a dark theme. Obviously, we did a lot of changes and a lot of iterations in the beginning. Also, there wasn't an identity for Ericade in many ways. Like you had the radio mast, but that was kind of it.
Yeah, and now with the new site, you have a lot of more. It's in your face, more like it. It's not that you have to try to go around and find how to play music. It's directly where you expect it to be.
Exactly. So I had some experience from developing another online radio site, and the experiences and lessons learned from that is that it needs to be very clear where to click. I did a lot of research on other online radio stations on like how do they look and what's the main focus. Obviously, it's a radio station, so the main focus is the music, but it needs to be easy to figure out where to interact for the user to go and click. So that was the main goal, or the first step for Ericade. So we did some iterations and we launched some early like internal test versions, I think, around Christmas or early this year. We did. It wasn't the previous site was. It had some JavaScript. What was it written in? Do you recall?
It was written in JavaScript and PHP. Yes.
But the framework was like jQuery or something dated.
Yes, exactly.
So I am a front-end developer and I have used a lot of frameworks, but I chose Svelte for Ericade, and the newest one, and because of its speed and ease of maintainability and the rapid or the velocity you can develop new features is quite staggering in that one. So that's why we chose it, or I chose it, and it's the size, like the compressed size is very small. So even if you have a lot of things going on, the footprint is very, very small, which means that like if you're on a slow connection and stuff, the site will still load pretty fast. That's just for the code itself. Obviously, resources and stuff like images needs to be optimized as well. But that was a different concern. So the tech stack is Svelte, JavaScript, and TypeScript front end. Back end, I believe it's still PHP.
That's correct.
So we organized, or I started organizing everything. So we used Trello for task management and identifying like things that we need. So obviously our schedules didn't always align. Like I would work sometimes in the morning or in the afternoons, and you weren't available until later. So we needed like some kind of task management to keep things in sync.
And Trello is pretty good one. I think it's easy to work with, and you can paste pictures into it, so you can have some kind of just show how the design looks. You don't have to write it in text. You can show it in pictures, and I like that.
Yes, and I mean we have like, even though there was a 2-man operation, we still have like a setup that would be similar for a small development team of more people, where we have different lanes for like tasks that are not started on, in progress, and QA, and so on.
Yeah, and QA is kind of funny because it's the other guy that looks into it and see if it works.
Yeah, it's obviously when we're such a small team, it's usually the person that has ordered the task that needs to look over. So obviously it's not easy always to test something when there's just one person testing it. But and still there might be errors when we thought we had fixed the issue. But still, I think it provided a valuable environment for developing this. Otherwise, I don't think it would be manageable.
No, we have to have some kind of tool for collaborating here, simply. And we did. That's great. When you go to the page, the landing page, if you want to, what's about that?
Yes, so the site, obviously, if you're familiar with Ericade, you know it's ericade.radio. But at the start page here, at the landing page, we're focused on giving the current song, what's playing now, or most of the focus, and we have so it updates. I'm not sure if the old site did update automatically when there was a song switch.
It did.
So obviously that has been brought over, but we have a lot of different features. So the old site, they had actually 2 players on top of each other, and you could play both at the same time if you wanted, which was very weird. But here we have switched into tabs, so it's live. That's presented when you enter the site, and then you can switch over to Best of Ericade if you want that, which shows also what's playing on that station. You can rate, which was also a feature back in the old site, but we made it much
easier to find. Yeah.
Yes.
It's easy to find because it's directly exactly where you expect it to be. You don't have to scroll down to find it. Everything is in your face, as I said.
And each song also has attached to them like a favorite, which we'll come back to. That's the heart. And there's also latest content. So we have on the right side, it shows the latest that has been produced from Ericade.
The podcast, that is.
In terms of podcast, yeah. And let's see. Yes, so as you mentioned, songs are easier to rate, and we'll jump into song details, but I think first we need to hear a song first.
Absolutely. And we got some good things coming right up here. It's Danko and Jogeir Liljedahl, I Think of You. right, some song from ericade.radio. It was Jogeir Liljedahl, as we said. Anyway, and Danko, not to forget. What we were talking about our new website, and one thing you want to know is how about that song? What's that all about?
Yes, so the old site also had song details, but it was kind of hidden and a bit. It wasn't that intuitive. So from this, obviously, from the landing page, you can click on the currently playing song, which will send you to the song detail page. That song detail page has most or all of the important info of the songs, like how many times it has played, how long it is, and obviously some metadata if it's available. You can also from here add the song to a favorite, and also rate the song from here. This ties nicely into the request tab. So we have a request up top on the menu, and this is where you basically can find songs and request them. This uses what's it called, debouncing. So if I search for My Wolf, then as I type, the search isn't firing off until I stop typing. Another thing that was the song search function on the old site was not very functional. I think it also, like, you could send a message with each your request, which caused the request process to be very cumbersome. Like I had to type something, and that was annoying for me. It was like, I want to listen to this song now.
Yeah.
So that's what we have changed here. You can request songs directly from the request a tune page or the song page. It doesn't matter, as long as it's requestable, of course.
Yes, and generally what isn't requestable is a song which artist just was played in the last hour. So if you kind of wanted Danko and he has been played the last hour, then you can't select it. But it very well tells you this, that it's... and also, if you request a song, you can't request it again because it's already been played. So it's a timer for everything, like artist, like title, like request and stuff.
And also the length of the song, so it cannot be longer than a certain amount.
I think it's 10 minutes or something.
So you cannot request podcasts to be played.
Yeah, that would be very bad if you could.
So the song details, some of them also have more information than others. This is only a data quality thing, but for those songs that have info, it's presented here, like links to external sites like their Bandcamp or YouTube or Demosu, and contribution. So if it's available, you can find it from that place, which I think is very nice and beneficial.
Yes, absolutely.
Go ahead.
No, I just agreed with what you said.
Another thing which wasn't present on the previous site, which is one of the features I wanted to have, and which I think most radio stations where you can request a song should have, is favorites. And this is a feature you have come to like, DJ Daemon.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very nice one if you just want to select and play requests when you feel, I want to hear My Wolf too, or some other tune. I have like 10 or 20 tunes which I really want to hear when I go online. So.
And also, like when you're just listening to the radio, you're like, I mean, for me, sometimes it's like, okay, wow, I'm listening to this song. What's it called? And either I have to, if I like it, then I either have to save it somewhere, like the name, or I can just click favorite.
Yeah,
And if
the
I
favorite.
click favorite, it's stored to my list, so I don't have to remember.
Yeah, it's perfect, actually. I know some other users that have mailed me and said that they like some songs and they wonder if they can get a copy of them. And generally, we try to give them copies of the songs because they are from Mod Archive or from some other archive. So that helps as well.
Yeah, I think ideally we should have each song like a link to the mod archive, so we can send users to the song detail page, because that's a thing I hope is more will be used more in the future. Like, oh, I like this song, or hey, can you play this song? And you just link to Ericade Radio and whatever that song title is. So everybody kind of gathers around that URL scheme. Much like if you share a song from other prominent song platforms, you would link to that song specifically. And it's the same thing here.
Yeah, that's something we can think about for the future. It seems like a good idea.
And speaking of new features, new songs is also a thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's hidden in the More menu, where you can get the list of the latest songs. Sometimes people wonder, are you putting new songs on? And it's like, yeah, go and check on which they are. Generally, there is a new set of songs every week, and you can see exactly which they are, and you can favoritize them or you can request them if you want to hear them.
Yeah. And I think the new songs lists, I'm not sure how many, but let's say 30 or 20 or something of the newest songs. Ideally, we should have, I see now, we should have like a date, so it kind of gives an impression that it's regularly updated, because it just said newly added songs, but I don't know if it's been added today or last week or something.
You can click on the songs and then you will see when it was added. But okay, I understand. You could have it on the main list, so you don't have to click on it.
Yeah, if you have to go and click on every song, that's annoying. But but that's a different topic. So obviously, like there are the site is still in development, even though we have launched it. There are features and things there. It's not bug free. We're going to be honest about that. But the main points and the main features that we want to deliver are there, and now we're like improving and identifying things that can be better. So obviously there's a lot of them, and also you have registered some tasks in Trello, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. Number of things that we need to fix. Generally, there's no need of discussing this here, because it's like basically things that we should make work better, but it's not something new when it comes to feature. It's more like bug fixes and stuff.
Yes. And then the last thing I want to highlight is the podcast and the podcast player, which was not a thing in the old site, and which is a major feature in the new site. So in the old site, you could find a podcast, and it was basically a player where you play from start to finish, or you could download the podcast to play on your local player. I wanted to kind of go away from that in a way. So you use the website is a one-stop shop for any listening, and that also applies to the podcast. So podcasts can be found both from the menu up top, which says podcasts, or from the front page, which shows the latest podcast.
Exactly.
And on the podcast, like when you're on a page for a podcast, it has the same layout as any other song, even though it's a podcast. But what's unique here is that we have parsed all the meta information for the podcast into chapters, which you can jump directly to, and that updates. So as you're clicking play, the playlist will highlight where you are in in the podcast. And I'm personally very satisfied with this one.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. The idea is you can click on a song if you want to hear that particular song in the podcast, or if you want to listen to me speaking about some subject, you just click on that part of the podcast and you are directly jumping in there. Very good feature, actually.
And it works pretty nice. I tested it on iPad and mobile devices, and it works nicely there too. Obviously, when like Space is at a premium on smaller devices, but you can toggle chapters if you don't. We call them chapters, which are like segments in the podcast. But you can toggle them on and off if you don't want to see them, or you don't have to interact with them at all if you don't. But the option to just see where are we in the podcast, what's here, because like I'm looking right now at the Revision 2025 podcast, and it has a description, but it has like a list of tunes for the tracked music competition, which you covered. But I kind of like, okay, I want to see what's in there before I click, and now you can. With timestamps and everything, so it's a very I like this feature a lot.
Yeah, and we're still developing the site, so any feedback is welcome, so to speak. If you have something to say, just send an email to radio@ericade.net, and I will make sure that Coreus gets a notification of it if it's something that is on his table. Otherwise, it's mine, I guess.
Also, you can contact us on the Discord server.
Yes.
And I was looking at... Actually, I'm looking at the site now, and we do not actually have a link to the Discord server.
No.
That's I didn't see... I haven't noticed that before. But how do they join the Discord server then?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Okay, I know then that's a feature I need to update
exactly.
immediately.
Because we had something called discord.io, but that has been removed because that site was hacked and they shut down. So we don't have any link to the server right now.
It's pretty easy to create. So I'll fix that. But yeah, as you said, we're still developing, and we have some planned features. And a feature that I have been wanting to do for a long time is something called Zen mode.
Yeah, that seems like Buddhist something.
Yeah, and that's that feature is basically what it says on the tin. It's a mode where you can remove all the things that are interrupting or disturbing the view into a full screen kind of information screen where it just says the currently playing song, artist, and the rating.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much if you think about how Spotify have its full screen mode when you're using it on a screen, that's kind of what we're talking about here.
I guess also like TVs, if you leave your TV on for a long time.
Yeah, exactly. That was what I meant. I said screen, I meant actually the TV.
Yeah. So that's in the works. But yes, in general, I like it, the site. From what we've gathered and from what I gather, people like what they see.
Yes, absolutely. And we are going on with some music. It's a Daemon, a Amiga 4-channel module.
That was Demon's Revenge by some unknown artist. You know what? I think every artist needs to include their names in the production. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. I hate placing no tracker artist in the database, but it's needed when we have no idea who the artist is. If you're listening and do know, please hit us up at radio@ericade.net or Discord. That applies to any song that has missing info.
This summer we were at the Edison 2025 demo party in Stockholm. The first one after they had a break last year. So last year there was no Edison. Edison is a demo party that's been going on now for 14 years. But they moved to a new venue this year, a boat. We were there for 2 days covering everything that happened with status reports, special segments, and interviews, to name a few.
And we were also humbly invited to be part of the Edison crew, so we got to help out with the commentary during the demo party as well.
Yes, that was a new thing for us. We were at Edison 2023, but then we were only there as Ericade Radio.
Yeah, exactly. And now we're part of the crew. That's great. I really love that. I think that the commentary thing was hard, actually. I think my English isn't up to scratch sometimes.
Yeah, but it also there was 100 people in the venue, and we were commentating everything from PC demo introductions to live coding duels. So it requires a lot of different knowledge, and some knowledge we didn't have. So you have to kind of wing it in a way.
Yeah. But it was fun, actually, and we had some really good times over there. And I absolutely love the fact that the demo scene comes together, and it's like a big party, and everybody's happy.
Absolutely, and the general impression has been since day one, since the first time I joined you covering demo parties, is that people are extremely welcoming, inviting, and eager to help out and share what they know, which is like the notion and the impression you have if you just read up on the demo scene, especially in the early days. That's not how it was at all.
No.
And you get an impression that they're gonna be kind of protective, not hostile, but they will be a bit introverted, not welcoming at all. But it's exactly the opposite.
Yeah, I guess back in the day, in the 90s, there was a bit of a protectionism, and it was Triad versus Fairlight, and it was a little bit like you had to prove that you were good. That has totally gone away. Now it's just a lot of middle-aged people having fun, and it's kind of that way, and I like it that way because it means that you don't have to be perfect, but you have to be friendly.
Yeah, I guess it come something with age as well. Like you're not that young anymore, and you don't have all that testosterone and all that rage building up inside. But you also kind of come to terms that people are here to have a good time and look at incredible productions.
And you were part of this as well. You had your own demo that you created with this blobby character.
Yes, I attended or participated in the animation and video competition with Sailing to Edison, it was called. It was animation about all the sceners. So the theme for Edison this year was the 7 sceners. And that's a play on the 7 Seas name. But I had the idea that all of these sceners were traveling to Edison, and but there was one scener that was left behind on a deserted island, kind of, and the story changes into rescuing him, he's called Blobby.
Yeah, exactly. There's a dragon that picks him up, and he gets to fly the whole of day and night into the Edison city, I guess, at Stockholm. And then I guess, yeah. I've actually thought it was kind of amazing, and it won the competition as well. So.
Yeah, that's great. It was. It was it was actually, to be brutally honest, it was quite emotional just looking at it at the big screen, because I've been working on it for on and off on a hobby basis for 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
I had had to envision how this would look and sound when shown on a big screen. And I don't have like a big screen at home, so I had to test it on my TV and test it on monitors and all that kind of stuff. But hearing people cheering and the feedback has been great.
Yeah, exactly. It was a great demo as well, and it won fairly against another demo. There were just 2 in this competition, if I remember correctly. And the other one was where they presented the demo party. It was this guy.
This was Vagabond, I think.
Yeah, exactly. We interviewed him, and if you listen to our podcast from Edison, you will hear him speak about his work.
So we did a lot of segments, as we do on Ericade. So obviously, when we're covering a live event, we want to provide some added value, and one of our goals is to give an impression of how it is to be there and who the people are.
Yeah,
and we did a lot of great. We met a lot of great people. We interviewed, as you said, Miro from This Is Geeky YouTube channel, and 3-star Vagabond, I believe.
Yeah.
The first day, and he was very cool to talk to. And then I got to interview Trident.
Something
that
of
was
a dream come true.
I've been planning. I met him at Edison 2023, and I immediately thought I need to talk more to this guy. He's so well known in the scene, and people love that guy for good reason.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we want to give an impression of how it is to be there, and also kind of like look behind the curtain, get an insight into how these people work and operate, because a lot of these things, like coding for a Commodore 64, isn't something that you just do. I feel, even though it's much easier now than it was, it takes knowledge and a lot of reading up to do. So actually, I haven't tried. Perhaps I'll try asking ChatGPT if he can just write me an impressive Commodore 64 demo.
Yeah, well, that's going to be cheating. They don't like that.
No, absolutely, exactly, and so that's another thing I like about the demo parties. Like there are different competitions, obviously, and some allow AI, but it's an absolute no-go. You need to make everything yourself, and I think that's honorable and a worthy goal to because it's honoring the good old days and the human craft.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what was back in the day was that you had the computer that you were going to run the demo on. If you wanted a C64 demo, you had to create it on a C64. But nowadays, you can create a lot of things on a PC, laptop, and make it runnable on a C64. You can draw the pictures in a bigger screen with a better computer. So it's easier to make demos nowadays, but it's not the same thing as cheating. As cheating would be if you had, as you said, done an AI create it for you.
Yeah, that's So obviously there are competition that allows this, like photo competitions and all that, but that's not what the demo scene is about. That's not where the main interest is in anyway. But yeah, it's, I mean, the computer space is always evolving. So, but the demo scene is always like kind of harkening back. People are still shouting Amiga.
Yeah, I know.
Which I heard. I watched the Scenium demo party earlier, and they there was a DJ set. They were shouting Amiga, and they were shouting Amiga at Edison as well.
Yeah, I know. I think that's cool.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I really like this Amiga thing. It's a chant. It's a.
Yeah, I have no idea. It was the first time I heard it like that prominently. But what's up with that?
I don't know if it's something taken from a commercial or something. I don't know where they come from, but a lot of people are shouting Amiga, and I like that. I think I'm an old Amiga nerd, so I mean,
yeah. We're gonna talk a bit more of our time at Edison 2025, but Jakim first is here to give us some musical break, and it's spes non fracta, which means hope is not broken in Latin. And indeed, hope is not broken when you have the demo scene. That was Jakim with Hope is Not Broken, or as it's called in Latin, the original name, at spes non fracta. This year, when we were at Edison, there were a lot of new things, and one of them were that we were on Twitch, so you could see us live from the event, where we provided commentaries. We were also sitting. We had our own desk, the bar, DJ Daemon.
Yeah, that was great. Actually, we sat on bar stools, and no beer was served. At least not that you can buy from the bar. We just used it for broadcasting.
Yeah, there was no food at Edison 2023. There was a food truck that was non-existent this year.
No, you had to go away, and we had people friendly enough to get us stuff when we were preparing everything. So we got pizza, all our organs.
And I also got people to order food in. So that was incredible. But we were sitting at a bar, which was perfect for when we had interviews. They could sit on the other side and we were sitting on ours. It was a bit chaotic at times when we started on Friday. I think we started the broadcast with it's very last minute, you said.
Yeah, I remember. It's just kind of, we actually made it with just a few seconds to pass before we should start. So it's just kind of like a bit stressed out, but that's how it is. That's how the demo parties are. There's a lot of things going on, and everybody is up and running.
And even doesn't matter how much you plan for it, there are still unknowns that happen. But so running a radio show doesn't make itself. Planning and running a show like this is a lot of work. And I thought we'd just dip into some of the stuff that goes on when we start planning for a demo party like this.
Yeah, we actually started the Edison demo party planning on Espresso House here in Stockholm, which is a coffee shop. So we were sitting there trying to figure out exactly how everything should work.
But before that, we had planned like months in advance.
Yeah,
still.
the music.
And we were also talking to Edison, the Edison people as well, on like certain things. Where are we going to sit? Where are the cameras going to be placed? And a lot of things that are, especially the venue was new this year, so we didn't know. We only had pictures to look at, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the pictures were they described exactly how we were going to be located. But when you get there and you have to think about cables that should be long enough to reach where they need to reach, and everything has to be set up. And then we also had the control mechanism for the streaming was under our control. So we had we didn't just make audio, we had video going on as well.
Yeah, with the live stream to Twitch, we certainly had another realm, completely new animal to tackle, and that was it was a lot of wires, a lot of buttons. It was challenging at times, I would say.
Yeah, very much, but it was fun. That's the thing, and it worked well actually when you think about it. I mean, it was it was new for me to handle the video desk, but it wasn't too hard.
No, it worked surprisingly well, as you said, and I agree. Even though it was a bit overwhelming, a lot of things to. I think the stream deck that we had was very helpful in managing what is shown out on stream. So, but yeah, there's a lot of setup. There's like their own beam team, as it's called, that covers what's going out on the stream and
the beam
the
team,
audio levels.
Yeah, the beam team actually handles what goes up on the big screen. And the stream team, that was us. That was
stream team.
Yeah,
right.
We were the stream team.
Stream team. Yeah. Okay, I got that mixed up. But yes, we were basically only two people. And I think that one of the things that we have talked about post Edison is that we might need a third person, a volunteer.
Yes, an audio engineer, so that you and I can talk without having to figure think
about
the technology.
Yeah. So since you had to manage most of the levers and buttons, you were at times sitting with the back to me, and that was a bit that caused some issues sometimes when I wasn't finished talking and you switched to a song instead of.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen next time, because we kind of figured out a lot of things. We needed this just to learn whatever works and what doesn't work.
It's a lot of those things you can't plan for unless you have experienced them before. And we got a lot of experience and valuable experiences from that setup and that event. So, and we, like I said earlier, we start planning for these demo parties roughly for this year. It was like half a year or something, I would say, because there were so many new and unknowns, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So we were like, where are we going to sit? Who's going to control that? Who's responsible for this? So there's a lot of unknowns, which were not present when we were at Edison 2023, but then we weren't part of the stream team either.
No, we just sat and did our stuff. So, but I'm happy with this. I think we do a good job helping the demo party, and we are now Orgus in official, say, so to speak,
capacity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's it's humbling to see that our attempts or our efforts are appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's what we all we hope for, to give some kind of value, insight, and not that we're kind of like a third wheel on the wagon.
No, exactly.
So and then, like, when we arrived at Stockholm, we planned, as you said, at the Espresso House. We sat there with crappy internet. You remember?
Yeah, I remember that. It was kind of worthless.
You were trying to download some mod files from Mod Archive in order to set up the show.
It didn't work very well. But you get what you pay
2
for.
2 hours to download 80 kilobytes.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. But it was, it was we had a beautiful time. It was beautiful weather. Mm-hmm. We also got a bit time to walk around and see the city.
Yeah, exactly. And we looked around Stockholm, and we actually tried those bikes. What do you call it? Yeah,
electric scooters.
And it worked. It was scary. I thought I was going to fall off because it was too fast.
I looked at you. You look kind of nervous. I have an image which I've sent to you before when we were at Edison 2023. Pågadata last year. We were going out to buy some food, and you borrowed a bike from the guy we were staying at.
Yeah. And
also you have the photo I have of myself and you on the bike, and you have the same expression, that kind of like I'm dubious of this situation, a kind of skeptical look.
Okay.
So it's the same thing you had here. And
I guess so,
this time we did actually get lost, or we lost each other.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I stopped there, and then when I tried to call you, my telephone battery went out because it was very low. I didn't know that it had kind of run down, so I was kind of like, what am I going to do now?
And you went back home to your place, and I was in the city.
Yeah, and then I actually got hold of you, and we could fix a cab so you could get home to me. It was kind of a bad situation there, but it was fun. It's fun to look back at.
Yeah, we were on a mission to go to the MS Borgila, which was the place the Edison 2025 demo party was at. But we never reached there on the day before the demo party. We just got lost on the way.
Yeah, I'm not very much of a good... I'm like they say, the most dangerous thing in the military is a sergeant with his map.
But you're from Sweden and you live near Stockholm. You should know the city.
I should, but well, I don't.
But now we know where the boat is. I did arrive eventually at the boat the day before the party and checked it out. But now we both know where the boat is.
Yes,
right?
No problems.
So, the venue itself was pretty nice. Like, it was new for this year, as we said. There were several decks, and you could sit outside as well. Don't you think it was cool?
It was really nice, actually. And actually walking out to the top deck of the boat, where you could take a little bit rest and talk with some of the people, drinking some beer, generally just being a nice place to be. And
you met some of your... heroes? Somebody you know from before?
Yeah, Terrible Fire. His name is... I don't know what his name is, but he is the guy behind those accelerator boards that you use for CD32s and different computers. And I actually... I was kind of going for another thing, so I just swiftly said hello to him and said, I really like your work.
Yeah. And I think I talked to him also, and I said, because they were talking about a trapdoor expansion, which I have no idea what is. So I just jokingly said, on the off chance, I don't know what a trapdoor expansion is. Could you tell what it is? And he explained happily. That was so kind and inviting. So it just echoes the general atmosphere of people in demo scene is incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
We did a lot of things. I think even with this, the ericade radio segments being a bit shorter, like we last year and the year before, we have broadcasting for 6, 7, 8 hours, right?
Yeah, something like that.
But this year we changed it a bit.
3 hours, I think, 3.5 or something. Yeah.
Because we were later in the day. We were commentating for the Edison show and the demo party. So we needed to have. I feel like we planned more this year because there were so many kind of unknowns or new things. So we needed to have a more rigid schedule.
Yeah.
So there was more talking and less of that just playing songs back to back. But still, there were things that we didn't have time to talk about. One segment that we had planned was the demos you remember. You remember?
Yeah, I remember, but we didn't get to talk about that. It wasn't simply time enough.
No. But it was obviously instead we got to talk to a lot of great people. You talked to that guy from Revision. What's his name? John Doe or Joe Doe?
Yeah, something like that. What was his name? Oh, sorry about that.
Dojo.
Dojo with an E after or an I or something. Yeah, that was him.
And you talked a bit about his award show.
Yeah, exactly. Meteorics, it's called.
Meteorix.
Yeah, that's he's part of that group that kind of gives away demo party awards to demo parties during the year that has been successful. And actually he does it even if they kind of got an award from another demo party. He considers all demos that have been created during this year as eligible for this prize.
And that's he said, like, there are thousands of entries that they come through every year.
Things that never been seen on a demo party.
Yeah, like they just submit it, but it's not submitted at a demo party, for instance.
Exactly.
So that's an incredible effort. And I think the award ceremony is held at Revision every year.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a fascinating thing, because it gives you an extra chance if you didn't get that award that you think you deserved. If your demo is good enough, they will find it.
Yes, and that's a great thing. We were talking to a lot of very interesting sceners, and I hope we can continue to do that, because like the feedback we have gotten from our coverage has been, I would say, very positive. People liked what we did.
Absolutely, and they want to hear stuff like that, because we are the first one that make it happen on a demo scene party that I know. Maybe there are some other party that doing this, but I haven't heard about it.
That's a good point. Kind of like tapping into who are the people, what drives them, and how sometimes you don't want to see a magician reveal their tricks, but
sometimes when it comes to demo scene, you definitely want to know how the heck did you get 9 sprites on a Commodore 64. That's quite a trick.
Or what is that ghost bite all about?
Yeah, exactly.
So there's a lot of obviously, like, people sharing their tricks. That's how the technology and the exploits of the various platforms advance. So I think that's interesting to dive into, and I hope we can continue to cover more demo parties, not only Edison, but that will time will tell. We have focused now on one per year, and that's has been Edison mostly, because it's so. Some of the demo parties are like located in the sticks.
Sticks,
meaning in the mid. Yeah, located in the sticks means located
in the middle of nowhere.
Isolaten, as you say in Swedish.
Yes, spenaten.
Yeah, which makes it a bit hard to get. Like last year, I had to travel to Denmark first,
and just to get to Malmö. Yeah, I know.
And up through the south of Sweden in order to get. Then we had to take a couple of trains, and then walk in pouring rain. Just we even though it's fun to cover those, it's also I don't know. Some convenience is nice, especially when there's so much stuff that needs to that you're planning for.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was Pågedata, by the way. That was in.
Yes. Nothing bad about that party. That was a great experience.
It was absolutely fantastic. I mean, I liked the whole thing that they made it on a smaller scale. But still,
they have a different ambition, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's honorable, and continue doing their thing, because doing your thing is what the demo scene has been much about, like expressing your artistic freedom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. We have actually, coming from the Edison and now being part of the crew, we also got we talked to people from Revision, like Dojo, but I also talked to Truck and others who were interested in us doing more of this at their part of the world.
Yeah, it was assembly.
Parties they like.
We got an invite to assembly, but alas, we had to say I didn't have time, and neither did you. So,
but I mean, that doesn't rule it out for sometime in the future. I did check out the assembly. I haven't looked much at it, but that was
Finnish party, very big, large Finnish party.
Yes, it is up in Finland, and it's huge. It has a lot of compos, and I don't know if it's the biggest one in Scandinavia, but it looked very big from like the production value and all that was very interesting and nice to see. So and other demo parties as well. So hopefully we'll have an opportunity to go to more parties and cover. And we also got a mention from PS Enough. If you have seen the demo scene report.
Yes, I've seen it. They named the Edison party, and I don't know, did they say anything about ericade?
I didn't no. He mentioned last year he mentioned that ericade was at Bogadata.
Yes, but this year I think he only mentioned Edison, because we kind of were part of the Edison, so I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think also, like, since there was a lot of competitions and stuff, he focused on the winners and the contributions to each competition.
Absolutely, I totally get that. I don't think we were mentioned, and it doesn't matter. But it was fun actually being there, and as you are listening to this, day one of the YouTube video, which includes the Twitch stream, will be available, so you can watch our interviews and stuff.
Yeah, you can see everything from the party as it happened. So that is cool, and eventually the day 2 will be up on YouTube as well. But I think that this kind of outlines our time at Edison 2025. I hope we can do it again next year, because I had a fantastic time. And,
absolutely. Yeah, I did too. Really happy about this. And I hope that we will be able to do it next year. I think we will. I hope for it.
And also a big thanks to the Edison, the other Edison crew at Edison for trusting us and giving us a chance.
Yeah.
I think that's important to mention. Wayland has been very welcoming, I think, and some of the other crew as well that we got to talk to. Snackis, Wister, and Newsten, and a lot of those.
Frost
have just been very, very kind and in welcoming us to the thing. And like, I feel like we were more, like, people knew more of who we were this time, because like we had a new thing also this year, right? A roll-up.
Yeah, so you could see our final logotype with those two guys with sunglasses and notes. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's the logo.
That was placed at the entry down to the main deck. So as you enter the venue, you would see Ericade Radio is here covering live, and we hope to bring that with us, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So for new other parties that we're covering, we hope to have that. So it's a kind of a presence, because we did actually. It's a result of feedback we got. Like, people were wondering, who the hell are you, and what are you doing?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I think that just having that kind of advertisement or sign is was a big help, because people were coming up to us and saying like, "Oh, you're Ericade, or you're doing radio."
Yeah, exactly. They wouldn't have known what we were doing if it weren't for this thing. So it's a very good idea. And we were allowed to put it on display, so to speak.
Yeah, so thanks again to the organizers and letting us cover the party. And hopefully we'll cover more Edison, but also other demo parties in the future. Time will tell.
Absolutely. It's time for some music. Or if you do,
yeah. What's next on the menu here?
That would be Moogie in Space.
In space. Well,
in space.
Okay. Well, we'll take it. So I'd say that wraps up this Flashback Tracks from the Past podcast. Edison, what a weekend and time it was. Packed with creativity, friendly and talented people, and some seriously mind-bending demos. Personally, I like the Skeppo Boy by Schwarp.
Absolutely. From the old school intros to the wild new releases, the energy was incredible. Absolutely a huge thanks to everyone who shared their work, their passion, and talked to us in the bar.
We hope you enjoyed this episode, and remember that you can watch our coverage from Edison on YouTube, this time with the video from the Twitch event.
Yeah, hopefully we'll bring you more from different demo parties in the future.
Until next time, this is Coreus
and DJ Daemon, sending you into that good night with Ortalion dreams.
Hope to see you all at the next party. Thanks for listening.
Amiga!
Amiga!